The Mind Buzz, now partnered with My Grito Industries.
The Mind Buzz Podcast.
What is up, Mind Buzz Universe? Welcome back to another podcast episode of the Mind Buzz Podcast. I am your host, Gil, and working the board this evening, this morning, whenever you're listening to this show, is Amber. How are you?
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking at the recording right here.
Why?
I don't know. Whenever we do something new, upgrade something or
Yeah.
change it, it becomes like...
That's just the nature of the business.
No, I know.
You got to evolve. You got to change. Look, we're going in the right direction. That's all that matters.
No, I agree.
Right? I feel like we've gone backwards like 5 years, but it's fine. It's all good.
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you're right. If I would have like listened to certain people, like at the beginning, oh, you should do it this way. I was like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but you had to, one, figure it out for yourself,
Right.
and two, you learned other things by using whatever you were doing.
I learned along the way, right?
Yeah.
I learned along the way, and then plus the way that we were doing the show before, we were able to pump out like 3 episodes
Yeah.
in a week. On top of that, we had clips. It was a wild time. So
It was fun, but
yeah.
I'm coming to appreciate our podcast days other than like just pumping them out and getting it done.
having to get here and doing the show, and then
It's
No,
fun
it-
now.
podcast days, little nap, little dinner.
Yeah.
It's a podcast day. You were pretty excited today too.
Yeah, where in the past I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
No, literally, you're like, it's a podcast day.
Yeah.
So
It's just sometimes you gotta look forward to things, you know?
yeah,
A little too much of something is not always good.
that's true.
So
Speaking of which, since we're only doing 1 episode a week now, it gives me a lot more time to cut up clips and post clips. And Johnny, he was like, dude, you guys are like flooding my feed. He's like, that's all I see now. And I was like, well,
you're
I
like,
don't know.
that's the objective.
that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
So, what do we got? Anything?
Nothing.
No? Let's get into today's guest.
Yes.
Cool. Today's guest is a stand-up comic. He's also a booker in Southeast Los Angeles. Please give it up for Ernesto Ledezma.
Woo!
Thank you
Ladies
for having me. Thank you
and
for having me.
gentlemen.
Glad to be here at the Mind Buzz Podcast. Mind Buzz Studio?
Mind Buzz Studios.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This place is nice. Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
Stoked to
dude.
be here.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Came on here, talked to some of you guys as listeners, get to know each other, just to confess stuff, I guess. So now that we're at it, in 1987, I hit a guy with my car and I never reported it.
Oh my god. Is this true?
No,
Oh, like,
I was born in 92.
I was gonna say, I'm like, how old are you? Wait, I want to know one thing.
Yeah.
Did he say your last name correctly?
Ledezma?
Ledezma?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how you say it.
All right. Just checking.
People see a Z and they get like confused. They think it's like a trick question.
So it's with the Z, right?
Yeah. My government name is with an S.
Oh,
And
okay.
There's a funny story about that. Like my girlfriend likes to make fun of me, like for it, because I shared this with her. But you know, growing up, I was a pretty dumb kid, and like in elementary school, I legit thought my last name was with a Z. So I wrote it with a Z on everything, right? So then now, by the time I realized that, I'm like, oh, it's with an S. By the time, you know, your Mexican parents don't give you your birth certificate,
Right.
So by the time I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'm dumb. It's with an S.
and
it was,
time.
yeah, I was in too deep, so I just ran with it, you know? and when I started stand-up, I didn't know that you could just have a stage name. I just
Right.
hit him with my regular old name. You know what I mean?
You know, we were testing the mics and stuff before we started the show, before you got here, and I was like, I wonder what name I'm gonna go by today, because I'm having like a weird like identity crisis right now.
Story of my life.
Because I've been doing stand up for about 3 years, and I usually just go by Gil.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask me, they're like, well, do you have a last name? Do you want me to just put Gil on the flyer? Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Gil's fine. And then I like recently this year I met a booker, and he was like, dude, you got to get a last name, bro.
Why? He thought that why do you have to? Do you
I don't know.
Do you think that you have to?
At the beginning, I was like, oh, it's cool. But then I was like, oh, maybe it would be a difference to have a last name.
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing stand-up 8 years. I still don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I can't even sit here and be like, that's the thing. Because do you think that would have changed you, or you think you'd be in a different position?
No.
I follow so many forums online, like from Reddit to Facebook groups and just, Instagram, Instagram group chats with other comics, and everybody's worried about like the what do I do with my stage name? What do I wear?
Right.
And it's just like, I never hear anybody asking like, how many jokes should I
Yeah.
write? How funny should I be?
Exactly. No, that's one thing that I always go back to, is like, you know what? I don't need to worry about this. I just need to worry about like my set.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, people have given me shit before. I used to have like a cartoon thing on my profile picture for stuff.
Uh-huh.
People would be like, oh, you gotta change that. You gotta
Yeah.
change that. I mean, I gave in. I'm over here being like, nah, do you? But I gave in. And I don't know if it helped or not, but, it's just a thing that, like, when I was coming up too, like doing like mics and stuff like that, that'd be this whole thing where like you can't wear shorts on stage. You know what I mean? Don't let them see your kneecaps for some reason.
I remember hearing that like a few years ago, listening to Ralphie May's like masterclass on YouTube. He says something like that about like, first of all, I think it's like another myth, right? Or like mustaches or facial hair.
Oh, yeah.
Like you shouldn't have a beard. You shouldn't have a mustache.
You're also not supposed to be like jacked or in shape or like too attractive.
Right.
Oh my god.
Seriously,
What
there's
do they want you to do?
there's be ugly and
You have
bald
to be
face.
an ugly comic?
Yeah, you gotta, because otherwise they're like, why are you even in this? This is for us. You know what I mean? Like if you're attractive,
Well,
everyone.
didn't they do that to the guy Matt Rife?
Matt
right?
Rife and
They-
any hot girl comedian ever. She's only funny because she's hot. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, I'd like to be like, it's not true, but immediately if I see somebody way attractive killing it on stage, that's my first thought. I'm just like, yeah, dude, because you're hot, dude.
So if you're funny, you're not good looking. I mean, that's how it kind of like feels, like that.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
like,
I think it's because you have to face like adversity. We feel like as comics, like you didn't earn that. You know what I mean? You're just getting it because you're hot, or even just because you're a woman, you get lots of followers or whatever the fuck.
Right.
We always want to find a reason why somebody's doing way better than us.
I agree.
Well, I'm like, fuck that guy, dude. But I wish I had that guy's connections. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seriously, it's like you're too hot. You're too hot to be doing this.
Yeah, man. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff where people always, as stand-ups, it's crazy because it's us. It's us, forcing these things on us. And, in reality, we should just be focused about, being funny, writing some new jokes, growing your audience. That's really the most important thing. It doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter, what your stage name if no one's coming to see you at the end of the day.
Exactly. Seriously. So I don't know. Some days I change my name. I use my real name. I just go by Gil, but I don't know.
I tried doing that at the Comedy Store a
We'll
few
see.
times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would try to get up at the mic and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And and then after a few times with my regular name, it didn't work out. I'm like, maybe if I try to be somebody else. And I never got picked, but I always was kind of nervous. Like, well, what if they pick me with this crazy name? Now I got to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you have like a different set for a different name, or was it just?
No, but I do have, I think, different sets for different like crowds.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. And I think that's just like part of it, because you could try to be like, nah, I don't change my set for anybody.
Right.
I'm an artist, and whatever the
Sure.
fuck, and I've tried that. I tried that recently, and I got,
Oh, really?
oh, dude, like you're going into the set being like, nah, man, this is my art. I want to talk about this, even if they don't get it, and then midway point they're not getting it, and you're just like, how about whatever the fuck I think you like, sir.
Yeah. Do you think it was their perception of you like to begin with, or do you think it was just like there was like a disconnect between you and them?
I think that I think you're supposed to switch the set
Right.
or the wording or how you present it to somebody, just depending on you got to feel the vibe out.
Right.
You know what
Pretty
I mean?
much.
Yeah, and I didn't do that, so it was like obviously it was my fault because I tried to just force feed them some shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, they weren't with me with the beginning, but you hear these jokes kill everywhere else, so you're like,
Right.
nah, if I stick it a little longer, you always don't want to just abandon ship. You want to be like, I'm just gonna get him with this one. I'm gonna get him with this one. That's when you have those sets, especially coming up, where you only have 10 minutes on stage and you bond for 9 minutes, and then you're just like, they're already giving you the light, and you're still with the. All right, before I get out, let me leave you with this.
Yeah. Dude, that's how it happens, man. When was it when you like realized that you're like, okay, I need to do certain things like in front of different people? Like, how long were you in by the time you realized that?
I think pretty early on, but I think
Yeah?
it helps because I'm Latino. So then you get to see when they put you, and they won't even tell you. They're like, you want to do this show? You're like, great, an opportunity to do this venue that I really, admire or really wanted to do. And then you show up and it's like a fucking Latino show.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're just like fucking, you're watching them, and then you see some comic up there just trying to be a comic, and he has to like bean it up a bit. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do.
That's true sometimes.
Yeah, so I mean, I learned to, like, you get up there, just you give them like 3-4 minutes of here's the fucking chucking and jiving shit, and then I'm gonna just move on with who I am as a person. Sometimes I feel like that if it's like if when I'm ready to film like a special or something, if I should do like a half hour or 45 minutes of like Latino material, and then put that out, and then just never talk about it in my career again. I've thought about that, but then also how hard can that be? Because I'm Latino. Everything I do is Latino. I listen to Spanish music. I fucking go to carne asadas. You know what I mean? It's like a weird thing. It's
because that's your some of it is like your lens of the world. Like that's your viewpoint. That's who you are.
Yeah, and it's tough because you don't want to be like pigeonholed into a fucking silhouette of this person, or you don't want people to be like, he's just a Latino comic. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I could be in a room and make anybody laugh, but unfortunately that's just part of the game. You have to be a little hack too, because you go out for let's say audition for something, and then they're looking for a really Latino person, or you know what I mean? And it's a thin line between being like proud of your culture, and then also just being extra Latino for the role.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, dude. It was pretty interesting what you said about the hack thing, right? Because say you're like a super artistic, well-spoken, that's just your identity, and that's just the way that you write and perform, right? Say you go on stage and you perform that in front of just people that just want to laugh, and sometimes there's a disconnect between that.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that happens. That happens here or there, and there's always, I think, whatever crowd, you're never gonna get everyone.
Right.
And even the people that are there because they really love your stuff, they're still gonna be like, he didn't do the thing, or I wish he would have done something new. Like, you could never make everyone happy, and I've learned that especially with I'm booker at this independent comedy club, the Private Suite in Southeast LA, and you can never make anybody happy, dude. Like, you'll have comics that'll hit me up and they like bug me and DM me constantly, put me on a show, and then I put them on the show, and then it's like they won't promote and they won't help me push the show, or they act like divas all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And you're like, dude, I was trying to do you a favor, like, low key, and now you know what I mean? And now they whatever act however, but it's audience members as well, you know, like TikTok or Instagram or social media, you'd like post a show or whatever. I just posted a show, and then like one of the first comments was like, "What? No Latino comedian?" And it's like, dude, I'm hosting the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not gonna put myself on the flyer or whatever. But it's just like, you know, they just supported. It was the same guy like that just supported me doing a Fresh Faces of Comedy showcase type of thing. So he just supported like all these up and coming comedians, you know what I mean? It didn't matter who they were, but now he's getting like professional TV credited comedians, and he's just like, what? No, that's it? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy. You can never please everyone. No, you're not gonna get everyone in the crowd, and you're never gonna make everyone happy. You just gotta kind of do whatever you think is the right move, and people are still gonna be mad.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the best way to go, because like wherever your direction, right, wherever you're gonna go, the right people are gonna follow, or they're gonna support you in the right direction that you're going to, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, like with your podcast, do you guys get like a lot of stuff online, a lot of like comments or anything like that? Any negative stuff?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, it's just
all
like
the time.
It's part of the thing. I think
Yeah.
if you're probably not doing anything
Right.
that good.
Exactly.
You're not getting attacked for no reason at 3 a.m.
Seriously, that's there was at a certain point when we were talking about just different topics. I think COVID was a talking point. Like when the raids were happening a couple weeks ago, that was a talking point.
Oh, that whole thing is like it's terrifying. The whole thing with like, cause it's just racial profiling, dude. You know what I mean? They're not really going after any Canadians, any other people other than like Latinos,
Right.
and I think that they're like, cause you know, it's everything's a conspiracy until it's proven right. And my whole conspiracy right now is like, oh, they're cleaning it up for the Olympics, buddy. They're trying to clean it up. All of a sudden, you're seeing less Mexicans, less homeless people. You know what I mean? You know, it's weird, but at the same time, it's like, what can you even really do about it? You know, besides post on social media, and that feels like a cop out because you're not out there protesting everything.
Exactly.
You can't. You got to go to work.
Exactly. So right here in Paramount, I don't know if this is pretty much like kind of where it started, because
Really?
right here in the city of Paramount, I want to say like a mile, like you take like Alondra all the way down. That's where DHS had it was military at first, or what was it, Amber?
It's their staging, or it was their staging. So that's where they have all their cars and tactical gear.
Oh man, and I mean it's crazy because they're like hiding their faces, and it's
Right.
like the only reason you should be hiding your face is because you're ashamed, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're hiding your face, is you're ashamed. If you're ashamed, you know you're doing something wrong, dude.
Right. And didn't they pass a law that they couldn't hide their face anymore or something like that?
No, they're trying to.
Oh, so it's still trying to
I
happen.
think right now they don't even have to identify themselves. They could just, you know, like it's like a private.
That is
police.
crazy to me. You don't have to identify yourself, and yet you're like you're abducting people. Literally, that take all the woohoo-ness out of it. Like whatever you're wearing, you're badging yourself. You don't have a badge, you have a camera on you. Doesn't matter. That's the point. You are abducting people.
It's and violently at that.
Right.
'Cause they're coming, they're showing up to like neighborhoods, pulling up in like unmarked cars. They won't identify themselves. They're pulling weapons on civilians. They're like literally running through people's yards, doing all kinds of stuff. It's stuff that you would like joke around when you were a kid.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, they're gonna chase us down, and
Yeah.
it's like now what's happening. The crazy thing is that there's people that like wanted this and that are voting for this and that are happy that this stuff is happening. You know, that's the crazy thing, which is like, I get it. You know, like they're here illegally and there's a right way to do things, but just the same way they want us to do it the right way, they should also be going at it the right way. Like you don't just you know
exactly
rip families apart and not even give them a chance to, you know, because you don't know where these people like end up half the time. You know, last time that they took all those kids in cages, they like lost kids, and then we're just like they just lost this many percentages of kids, and we were like, that's not that bad. But it's like, what happened? Can we get some answers? There's never answers.
Yeah.
Well, there's I saw today that there's gonna be like a civil suit, I guess, from North Korea, because of the raid. Remember I told you about the Hyundai?
Oh, that's right. They got some.
So there was a lady that's running for like, I don't know, congresswoman in the state of I think it's Tallahassee or one of those, wherever it was, somewhere like in the Midwest, and she's the one that called ICE on the whole plant, the Hyundai plant, and ICE came and they arrested like over 400 and something like Korean employees, and they, well, not arrested, they took them, you know,
They deported them, yeah.
and well, they detained them, and then it came to find out that everybody that was working there had permits to come over here. So pretty much it was it's South Koreans were coming to establish the Hyundai plant so that it could bring
Oh, wow.
jobs
Yeah.
to the city, which it was going to provide 9,000 jobs for the city and people in the city and stimulate the like the states and the city's economy.
Mhm.
And all these people had like working permits because all they were going to do was come, put the plant up, make it run, show all these people how to run it and how to do everything,
Mhm.
and then leave. Like they weren't here to stay.
Yeah.
And this lady was like, oh, like she thought, oh, I got the golden ticket to like.
Dude, because people get like cashed out, right? They get like paid for every
Yeah,
like.
that's what
Do
were
they
saying.
really?
They were saying that they were giving like money.
I
So
think it
So
was
they're
something
getting
like-
they're getting bonuses for how
Yeah.
many people they take.
yeah, like you can call on your neighbor and say, oh,
Oh.
it's an illegal immigrant, and they give you like
$1,500 or something
per
like that.
person. Yeah,
It's
something like
crazy.
that.
So I can imagine like, people like really just, it's crazy though, because we're put in this position as a society to like think about
Right.
it. Like we're like, there's some Latinos that call, eyes
Oh,
on
yeah.
other Latinos
yeah.
for money. You know what I mean? Because I mean, unfortunately, it's such a system where anybody's you're hardly anybody's making money unless you're like owning your own stuff, and even then you're getting taxed so hardcore. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you have to like
But that's why
dog eat dog type of thing.
that's why they did the incentive, because they knew people were gonna turn on each other. Well, this lady comes to know that that they have all their valid work stuff, and they got let go, and they went back to Korea, and they were like, F this, like we're going back to Korea, like why are we even here? And the entire plant, even the Hyundai owners were like, no, we're not gonna work here. And now they're filing like a suit against the United States for wrongfully detaining all 400 and something Koreans, and also because the way that they were detained. So they were saying that there was like 100 people to one like toilet at some point.
Oh yeah, that's the
They
whole
were
thing.
like beaten. They weren't given food. Like all these things. So it's
So it's like a sweatshop kind of thing.
Pretty
well,
much.
it went into like pretty much also them being like beaten and like
Jeez.
like just tortured. So now North Korea is like, F you, like we're gonna protect our citizens and pretty much do something about it.
Man, I don't know. There's so much bad stuff happening every day. You just can't
Right.
even digest it. Like I swear to God, so many people are just not revolting because they're just broken at this point. Like it's got to be
Yeah.
like half the population that are just watching stuff and not even really taking it in, just reading the headline but not understanding. Like, oh, that's lives. Right? Because it's way too much, especially if you're trying to be like a successful person. You got to kind of like, find your thing and attack it and every day wake up and work towards your goals. But it's just like that just means that you got to kind of prioritize yourself over everything else that's happening in the world. And unfortunately, I think that's what's happening with a lot of us. You want to help, but it's like, dude, how the hell can I help? I can barely help myself. I got a family, or I got like, this stuff to take care of. It's too much, man. You know what I mean?
But I think that's where they capitalize on. They know that people are in that type of situation, and there's really nothing that we can do besides like actually do that revolt, like you were saying. But
Then
even
something like
then,
something like that in Nepal happened, right?
Yeah.
In Nepal, they had
Last week.
had a whole fucking civil war going on, and then they burned all the all the government buildings.
Oh
and
yeah,
then-
that's right. They burn like their equivalent of like the White House. I remember you
Right,
telling
yeah.
me.
And then I think it was like a lot of like youths. If you look up, there's this kid, this Nepal kid who did this speech in like an auditorium, and low key he sounds like the Mustache Man. You know what I mean? He sounds like
Really?
the failed Austrian painter
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
that we all know. Yeah, he sounds just like him. So at first you're just like, what the hell is this kid on about? But then you hear him in English, you're like, dude, this kid rocks. I'm ready to burn some shit down. You know what I mean? Like this guy did that, and then like months later, I guess this happened. And now he's like everyone's kind of looking at this guy saying that he sparked everything, but it's crazy because there's like a lot of youths doing it, right? So they also like attacked all the politicians in their homes. Some of them had to get like airlifted out of their homes by helicopters. They chased like the police
Whoa.
officers and all these like government officials into rivers. It's crazy. And then the wildest part to me is that they burned, like how you said, the equivalent of the White House, and then they're waving like Luffy flags from One Piece, Yeah, because it's like a bunch of kids, and that's like the most punk rock thing they could think of doing. You know what I mean? It's really crazy, and it's like it's wild, and it's a crazy sight that you don't want to see. Like such like unrest with a population, but also you start to wonder like how long before that happens here. We already had like a taste of it when they stormed the Capitol or whatever.
Right.
It's like obviously. It can happen.
Yeah, I think in the perfect storm, if we get the right person in front of the right people, something like that would happen. For sure, 100%.
I think we're being held on by like a really thin string right now
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
of just like
If they cancel one more late night show, dude, I am so close.
Dude, I like how they now.
I am so close.
Now that's gonna relive that or revive that guy's whole career. Who the fuck? Nobody was watching that shit anyways, dude. Nobody was watching any of that shit, and now we're just like, oh my god, like
Right.
that happened to him, right?
It was like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel, yeah.
People are like, Americans are losing their jobs. It's like, dude, that's one fucking guy who should not have been doing that whole time,
Right.
anyways. You know what I mean?
David broke his finger at the Jimmy Kimmel show one time we went.
David, your brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law.
How do you do that?
Because we went to go see, I think they had Blink 182.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, you want to go see it? And I'm like, yeah. And we went. And then he went into like the mosh pit because you go to like the outside.
Say less.
And then I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going in there. And then he came out and he's like, I think I broke my finger.
How do you break his finger in mosh pit in his 30s? Yeah, that's what happens, dude. I have a friend. When the pandemic happened, we were like so starved for stage time. We were performing in between bands, setting up for backyard like punk shows and stuff, right? And then one of my friends who was like a substitute teacher, and he's like, I'm gonna get in the pit, and it's like, dude, you're a teacher, dude. Like, you have a 401k. Don't do this.
Right.
And then went in there. Yeah, immediately like fucked up its ACL. You know what I mean? It's like you can't just be in there. You're 30 plus, dude. Can't be dancing, having a good time. You know?
Yeah, last time I went in a pit, dude, I was like sore for like a week, literally.
Yeah, I remember. And I remember going to like punk shows and all that stuff, and just like the nights that.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up here, like in South Central.
Oh, dude, that's where all the punk shows were happening,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah, it's crazy to trip out. I actually used to, that band La Resistencia.
Yeah.
Like a ska band, right? So I used to go to like all kinds of shows for them when I was like a teenager, and like that was like my favorite band. The drummer, I was always like sick, some of the sickest drumming I've ever heard, And then just whatever, I grew up and started going to shows and doing stand up, and this just happened like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. I was trying to save up for some stuff, so I got like a warehouse job during the day for like a year, and then halfway through that we got like a temporary worker, and it was some guy that used to be in the band. Yeah, dude. And he was talking to me, and I was listening to music, and I was like, oh, La Resistencia and all that stuff. He was like, that's my band, dude. I formed that band or whatever. It was just wild, dude. Just wild the way that. And well, I'm like, dude, and I used to be like, they're the best. And I was like, and now we're both working at this warehouse, dude.
But in their time, they were.
Yeah.
That I love La Resistencia, Viernes 13, and Red Store Bump.
Yeah, that's like
Those
the.
were like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could tell we were around the same time listening. That was like the main thing you were listening to.
Well,
But
we're all like the same age.
Right.
yeah, dude. Yeah, and I like you guys' studio here. Obviously, you guys have like a very like Latino heavy, inspired art, kind of punk rock, the Misfit stuff. A lot like I don't dress like that anymore. But yeah, I was that punk rock kid that hung out with cholos. I was very confused my whole life.
I was like the punk rock kid that hung out with like paisas.
Oh yeah.
So I like paisa music, but
Yeah.
then I
They
love
hitting them with
like,
that enanitos
yeah.
verdes and shit.
Yeah, no, and no, I like Chalino, Saul
Oh,
Vera, like
yeah.
like that stuff. But then I love like ska music, psychobilly, like so it was somewhere in the middle. I went to Paramount High School, so it was you had to kind of be like both.
Yeah,
there.
you really did. I liked back then when we went to school. It was still like cliques, different little cliques. Like you went to lunch and it was like prison.
Oh yeah.
You're like that's the
Oh,
cholo
yeah.
table, that's the punk rock table, the metalhead table with their fucking with their high top white blazers every time, like with their Nikes and leather jackets. And it was cool because you could literally decide. I remember, you being a kid and decide I'm gonna be this type of guy now. You know what I mean? It was fucking crazy, dude. But I never felt like I fit in, dude. That's why when I started doing stand up, I was like, oh, dude, I could do this. I've been getting in trouble for this shit my whole life, How did you end up getting into stand up?
Me?
Yeah.
Through the podcast, dude.
So you were podcasting first, and then I guess met stand-ups.
Yeah, who was the first stand-up that we had? I think it was Carlos. Do you know Carlos Medrano? He
Yes,
does.
I
He
do.
he does. Don't Tell in wherever city he does. But
Yeah, I did one of his shows at like a comic book shop one time.
oh, okay,
yeah.
right. Yeah, he does that. So I met him, and then I had Martin Rizzo
Yeah,
on the show.
Martin's sick, too.
We did a show. Alfred Robles came on the podcast, and he told me, he was like, dude, just do it, man, just do it.
Yeah.
And by that time, I was thinking about doing stand up for like a year. I would lurk. I would go to mics and just check out
That
the
was like
scene.
almost pandemic, right?
hang
Getting out of the
out.
pandemic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, dude. When I was still finding all these little spots to do in the pandemic, I was just shook that there was people just starting stand up. Like they were like, I'm 6 months in. I'm like, dude, we've been in the pandemic for a year. We've been locked down for a year. How the hell did you start this whole new thing? It's wild. Things are so different now. Like I don't know if it was still a thing when you were doing or mics or getting into it or whatever. The Comedy Bureau.
No.
Yeah, that used to be a website when I did stand up.
Oh,
go
yeah,
to it and
right.
then have all the mics.
All the open mics in LA, right?
Yeah.
I remember Martin, because I asked him, I was like, dude, like how do you even start? That was one of the questions. Like, okay, how do you start? Where do you find all these places? And he told that's exactly what he said. And we pulled it up on the podcast, and we were just going through all the different places that were in LA.
Yeah, that was literally, you could quit that's what I did. I would have jobs and then just save up money and then just quit and be like, I'm going to be able to do stand-up for 7 months in a row now. You know what I mean? And you would just wake up. I didn't have a car. You would just wake up and like start scheduling shit. You're like, all right, every mic, every other hour you were hitting the mic. So you could do 4 or 5 spots like that day. You would have to be on the bus since like noon. You know what I mean? It was insane. But I mean, back then it seems easy. Now I have no idea. I have no idea how to even find mics, but there's so many cool shows happening. There's so many cool venues going around. Like, so many different comics doing comedy. Like, I'll go to a spot now to support, and then I'll meet like a bunch, like 10 new comics that I've never heard of. And it's like ranging in years that they've been doing stand up. I'm like, how have I never met you? This city's so huge for that.
Right. And you've been doing comedy for like 8 years, right?
Yeah, a little over 8 years.
Have you seen obviously you did it before the pandemic. Did you notice a change like after the pandemic?
Yeah, everybody has like they think it's gonna be like Netflix. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Everybody, I guess, was either stuck at home or like thinking about doing stand-up when they got stuck at home, because as soon as they were able to and as soon as spots started opening back up, all of a sudden everyone's a comic.
Oh really?
And everybody wants to do it.
So it's like that New Year's resolution type of thing, like at the gym, right? You at January, there's like it's packed, and then it starts to dip.
Yeah, and I mean, I seen it. I think I was one of the first wave of people that were like, oh, I want to be a stand-up because we all like started listening to podcasts when podcasts started getting huge, and now you're able to like listen to these stand-ups that you before can only get to know
Right.
them through a half hour or an hour special, and then wait a year or two
Yeah.
to learn a little bit more about them.
And maybe a radio spot here and there before they do a club in your city.
Right,
And
yeah.
even if they did that.
Yeah, all that Opie and Anthony stuff,
Yeah.
that was awesome stuff. Yeah, that's how you would know. That's how you would know comics. But then you started like knowing them intimately, and you felt like, especially if you didn't like have tons of friends or like a big social life. Now this was like your social life, right?
Right.
Now they're telling stories about motherfuckers you've never heard of, and you're like, I love it when he does that, right? You feel like you know them and shit, and then eventually they always get into the story of how they started stand up, or like they start talking about like those open mic nights and how much fun they had when they were just being artsy and not worried about the business side, and you just get so like caught up in it. You're like, man, I'm gonna do this, you know what I mean? And I think that's what happened to so many of us. We just felt like it was, like you asked Rizzo, like how do you even start? That's how you watch people on TV and you're just like, you're just famous. And that's how you get on TV. You don't fucking stop to think it's like, that's probably what made them famous, is getting on that TV spot. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't know how to start. And, when somebody tells you there's open mics or like there's a website and you just get to show up and stuff like that, that made things so much easier, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could go back to when I first did stand up, because I made so many mistakes. I fell into every fucking mistake. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dating a comic now, but she like doesn't do stand up at the same level, so I don't feel competitive at all. But yeah, I did that thing. I dated stand-ups. That was, an awful move. I fucking got addicted to drugs when I started making money off stand-up. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. Fucking went on the road. I was doing like shows and then just like heavily addicted to cocaine. So like that whole time when I should have been making like connections, and I'm doing these clubs like every night, different clubs all the time. And instead of like getting to know and making connection with the people from the club, I'm just like spending half of my time in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Or like spending half of my time outside because I'm either doing cocaine or smoking weed or something. And like now I've been sober for like 2 years, dude. Like says,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, dude. And
Heck yeah.
it's been going crazy, dude. Like literally nonstop every single day, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just that thing, dude. When before I used to feel like, oh man, I got too much stuff going on, and I just made that my, I just idle at that. I have too many things on the fire right now. So now it just feels normal. So much so that I'm like, let me add more pressure to this. What can I do also instead while trying to be a comedy star, while chasing that dream? What else can I do? Dude, let's book this club, dude. It's basically, trying to make stand up your whole job and, pay the bills and stuff like that. You got to get creative, man. The bookings aren't coming every time. And if they are, they're not all $300 shows or fucking, sometimes you're still doing like a fucking $500 show one day and then like $50 the next day. So it puts a lot of stress, especially if you're like in a relationship, puts a lot of stress on my partner also, that because you never know like if we're gonna have a good month or something like that. So that's when something like that, comes into hand, where you book a show. And honestly, as a comic, you only need one good monthly, like a successful one that you could sell out every month, where you could pay your fucking rent off of that shit, But it is stressful. It's like a whole thing. And
to get to the creative part of it, do you think there's a lot more opportunity now, right? Like just within the past few years, like as far as like with social media, TikTok, Instagram.
I think so. Yes, there's opportunities,
marketing stuff.
But if you make them yourself, you know what I mean? Because I think one thing that a lot of people are.
Do you do all the art for your show, for the secret comedy?
All like the ads and all that stuff. Yeah, for everything.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
I really dig it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I tried to do. I just go with yellow because it pops
No,
up.
I
every
like it.
time, You know.
Yeah.
But
There's some like branding out there that I'm just like, it's cool, but like I really like yours.
dude, I
It's
try
really
to make
cool.
everything like a video and stuff. I'm always like, dude, this shit is not 2017. No one gives a fuck about a flyer. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, unless some shit's moving or there's a song to it.
No,
one
seriously,
gives a fuck.
that's just the nature of it, and probably then even that is gonna change in the next couple years.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, dude. With the, I'm sorry, I got off track. You asked something like being creative on it. Yeah, you just gotta do everything, dude. You fucking have to do all of the stuff. It's so annoying. I just want to tell jokes. I'm over here like making visuals for promos. I'm fucking hitting up, companies to be like, hey, do you guys have a, an event coordinator or something? Just trying to put on shows wherever I feel like there's, a good venue and stuff like that. Honestly, you just have to do so many things just to sell tickets and fucking perform, DM a ton of people. You gotta, like, that's the method that I've been working on now that like I think has been helping. So if you run a comedy show, this is what I do to like pack out the rooms all the time. I make Instagram ads. You do Instagram ads, Eventbrite ads. Anybody that likes that video, send them a DM. You know what I mean? Hey, here's whatever percentage off if you act right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that stuff. It's so annoying because even Instagram is against you. You can only message like 25 people an hour before your thing gets.
Are you serious?
Flagged.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that if you have a business account, or is it just in general?
I think in general
Really?
because
that's crazy.
The way that I do it is I'll do like kind of like not a mass DM because you can't DM everyone at the same time, but
Right.
you create kind of like a a message that you're gonna send to everybody. So then you'll get flagged. You know what I mean? You can't even invite that many people at a row. That's what I found out.
Well, that's a good approach, because isn't that what like that's what Dane Cook did like back in the Facebook days?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did when he posted a clip of himself, and that was what, almost over 25 years ago. Like nobody was doing that.
Yeah, that's what you fucking have to do, dude, bro. You have to do that because people think it's enough to like post a video and I gotta like it.
No.
I mean, somebody's coming. It's like, dude, I like shit all the time just because I gotta keep. I haven't liked something in an hour or something. Let me like something. I'm hardly looking at shit.
Yeah.
You're just doing shit. But you gotta literally DM like hundreds of people every week, hundreds of people. You gotta send the mailing list. You gotta send the videos, all of this stuff just to sell tickets, dude. But that's part of it. It's like cold calling. If you have a company, except it's easier because at least you're sending a DM to someone that already showed interest to some of your stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like a business. We're trying to make a career of it. So if you're just trying to sit there and hope that like somebody puts you on, you're gonna be fucked, dude. Because that's what we were talking about right now. It's just like so many people like understand now that there's no gatekeepers. I mean, there is, but if you let them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
'Cause there's 3-4 major clubs in LA. Everybody wants to get in those clubs, and so many of my friends, dude, I'll go to one of the clubs to hang out. And everyone, oh, dude, you're killing it. You're doing this and that. But I'm still not passed at any of these clubs. And none of these clubs are going to give me stage time, right? And they feel like they haven't accomplished shit as stand-ups because in the last 8 years, they've been performing everywhere and still aren't passed at these clubs. So they're feeling like, I suck as a stand-up. It's like, dude, just go to Lancaster. Go do a show in Lancaster. You know what I mean? They're going to pay you $200 to entertain somebody for 45 minutes because there ain't shit going on there. You know what I mean? Go to fucking Ponfront, go whatever. But it's like we were saying, you're never going to please everyone,
Right.
Like these people, even if you did offer them that show, they don't want to drive. Everybody wants these clubs. You know what I'm saying? So,
What do you think it is? You think it's just the magic that we've thought about all these different clubs, that it's just the prestige that we created with it, or is it?
I think it's
is
comics
it
not
something like real?
I think it's comics not being real with themselves, not being honest. It's like if your real dream is to do stand up and your real dream is to tell jokes and make people laugh, then go tell jokes and make people laugh where people are gonna pay you for your time, or go go tell jokes, or people want to hear you tell jokes. Like, you just want to be in those clubs because, let's be real, it's not about doing comedy and being the best comic. It's about being famous to you. It's about, I want these people to watch me at these clubs because that's where, TV execs hang out, or, or that's where I'm going to get my TV show or put on a movie. That's the reality of things, you know what I mean? And so many comics like go bitter, or like, or they feel like they haven't made it because 4 people haven't said yes to them. And it's just like, well, stop fucking waiting for, somebody to let you be successful, dude.
Right.
Just go and be successful. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, I think it starts with your why, right? Like, why did you start doing this? Did you start doing it to be famous? Then yeah, that's the trajectory that you're gonna go. Don't blame anybody. Like, that's the way you want to go. This is how long it's gonna take, right?
And just be honest, though. You know what I mean? Because so many people, they're just not honest with themselves. Like, I used to always be like, when I started stand up, like, it comes from being that punk rock kid. Like, when I turned 18 and stuff, I was like, forever, I'm not getting a credit card. I'm not gonna be part of the system. You know what I mean? Look at me now. You know what I mean? 2 credit cards and shit. You know what I mean? But that's how it starts, right? Like, you're doing stand up and you kind of want to be fucking punk rock about it, but there's some things you got to give into, and there's some stuff it's just true. Like that you just got to stand on your own too about it, and no one's gonna come and save you. You know what I mean? It just depends on really what you want and how honest you could be with yourself. At first, I was always like, I just want to do stand up. If I could make minimum wage doing stand up, then I've made it, because at least I don't have to work at a warehouse. But now I'll fucking get shows, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That's not enough. You know what I mean? And this is my dream. I would, I would do this shit for free, but I still feel like that's not enough for it, or whatever the fuck, and it's weird because it doesn't go away, because it's obviously still your dream, and sometimes you're still like just stoked to be places, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do a fucking club and get like a fucking check from the club where, like, it's taxed and everything, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm a real comic, let's leave before they find out they paid me, you know what I mean? And they try to bounce this check or something,
right?
And something, like I said, sometimes it's just like, man, this shit is not enough. But it's weird how it turns into, like, into a job, you know what I mean? Like, now I want nice shit, but it just comes with growing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it
that's
just
true.
Comes with growing up. Like, before I was single, I could give a fuck. I'm single, no kids. I would just go do stand up. If I went on the red and I didn't eat that day, I just didn't eat, and I would just be hungry. But now it's just like, if I go out, dude, to do a spot, now you're asking me, I gotta leave my girlfriend at the house. I gotta leave my awesome dog and my cat, you know what I mean, to go drive an hour to go do a thing. And it's just like, just to like feel like I kind of got them, you know what I mean? I kind of got them going. It's just like, fuck, dude. Like, this shit is. And I'm like, it's funny, I've been complaining about that all podcast. Like, it's like, you can never make everybody happy. You give them what they want, and then they're just like, that's it. and there's like, that happened to me, you know what I mean? With stand up, I'm like, oh, please just let me on this show. And then I'm on that show, and I'm like, they don't even pay that good.
But I also think that with maturing and getting older, your priorities are different.
Yeah, your priorities are different, and your time is a lot more valuable now.
I'm like more conservative now too. It's crazy, dude.
Really?
I swear to God, dude. Like, I used to be out at night, like doing drugs and just like not going home, and now I'll see like some tweaker by my neighborhood, and I'm just like, oh, it's like, piece of shit, dude. Get your life together. I've confronted homeless people now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, because they just set up like, see, like before I used to be like, dude, that sucks. You're just find anywhere.
No,
dude.
I agree with you.
But now I'm like, get off the fucking sidewalk, dude. You're making you guys are taking a parking space, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Seriously, I get that.
I complain about like cars, like loud cars, like when they're like.
I don't even have kids. I'm like, there's children in this neighborhood, dude. That could be my kid. I literally think that I don't even have a kid, and I could be like, my kid could be walking down the street. You piece of shit.
But it's true, and I don't know when like the switch got turned on. Like, I want to say that once you turn like 30, it's like. You're like full blown, like
crazy.
Señor mode.
Dude, my girlfriend's talking about, and this is my girlfriend. She's half German, half Ecuadorian, but she has a Mexican boyfriend, so she slowly turned into a fucking señora. The other day, she was like, I want one of those like little carritos to take to the store. You know what I'm talking about?
Said the other day,
those black like
they're like wire and they have like 4 little wheels.
I was like, we're where can we get one of these?
Yeah.
We were going to a swap meet.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, I feel like I need one of these carts. Like, where do I find them?
No, I'm like putting on a Walmart running shoe. I'm like, they're comfortable, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It's weird
It's
how it
so
happens,
weird.
man. And I'm like, that's what like I was talking about earlier about like being like super Mexican and stuff like that. Like I never considered myself like super Mexican and stuff like that. But it's funny because the more you're in the industry, the more they don't let you forget that you're Mexican. So also like the more it's in my mind, and I just try to be like, you know, more in touch with my roots. So like now I'm like fucking more señor about shit. You know what I mean? Like Sunday comes around, I'm like, una carnita asada sounds good. You know what I mean? I'm like fucking doing all that shit. It's just ridiculous, bro. I'm getting old as hell, you know?
I didn't realize how like Mexican I was until we started dating, because he's Mexican, but he's a few generations back, and he would
I'm
be
like
like
four generations.
generation.
and then
Must
he
be
would be
nice.
like, oh, I like how you say that word, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, your accent, like you, and I'm like, I don't have an accent. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you do. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't sound like the ladies on like the fucking radio, like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I don't sound like that. And he's like, yeah, you do.
It's crazy.
And I was like, oh my god, I wanted to cry.
That's
Like,
what I mean. Like they don't let you forget, dude. I'm fucking. Sometimes I'm just speaking like this, how I'm speaking right now. I don't think it's anything crazy. But you'll post a video on social media, and someone's like, "Is he yelling in Mexican? What is it?" like, dude, the hell is this, dude? You know what I mean? It's just like, no, if you just have that faith, no matter what you say, it sounds like some chichimeca shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're fucking from the F somehow.
Sometimes my brain like cannot compute the word in English,
In English, yep.
and I have to be like,
Dude, the worst is when she's giving me directions
yeah.
to a place that I have no, especially directions in TJ. Like my first time driving in TJ, it was a mess. It was crazy.
And I'm over here trying to lead him, and then I
She's-
can't remember how to say make a left in English, and I was like izquierda, and I was like this hand right here, and he's like the left. I'm like
And she's reading the signs are all in Spanish, and she's reading the signs to me. I'm just like, oh my god, let's get here. I want to live.
And I'm not like a ESL kid or anything.
I
but
know,
it's
she's
just
not.
like-
No, I feel you. My girlfriend's white, and it's just like anything I say sounds like I'm, like, you know what I mean? I'll literally, earlier, I caught myself being like, back when I was a kid in Mexico, and I was like, I wasn't. You know, I was, and I never was, you know what I mean? But that came out of my mouth. Like back when I was literally eating one of those tamales de elote, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And she was like, oh, because it doesn't have anything in it. So I was like, no.
Those are my
I was
favorite.
literally like, no, these are good. When I was a kid in Mexico, I had one of these. And they were just like, dude, I was there for 2 weeks, maybe. Get the fuck out of it. But still, I be saying shit like that back when I was a kid. You know, we're also the same age, but it does, you know, it just fucking feels like that. It's two totally different lives. Like it's funny because sometimes I'll tell her like a childhood story that I think is really funny. Like I was like, the first time I ever got like frisked by a cop, I was like 8 years old, and I was just going to the Tom's Burgers, you know,
Right.
trying to get it. And I remember I was going there, and I was just remembering, like I was in my head walking through an alley, like cutting like a shortcut. And I was remembering being so poor that like I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a cheeseburger, right? But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna get a regular burger, and we got cheese at the house. You know what I mean? That's literally what I was thinking. And then the cop pulled around the corner and like stopped us and fucking frisked us and shit like that. And I barely knew what was going on. But I was telling that to my girlfriend, like thinking, isn't that hilarious? And I turned around, she's like crying, you know what I mean? Like just weeping at the fact that can't believe you had to go through that. You know what I mean? She's like, no, it's funny, dude.
That's how I feel. How with his, he tells me some stories of him growing up, and I'm just like, but how? And he's like, what do you mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's your
I
reality.
I
and-
only could have been a comic because I'm one thing that I realized is like I'm the most traumatized person in the world. You know what I mean? Like you used to think like, no, I'm just quirky, but
Right.
you're just like, no, everything's a defense mechanism. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely,
like I said, I
absolutely.
was saying that the other day at a show, and I was getting all these people to laugh because my buddy Ace, he does comedy with me. We're always on the road and stuff, and we were co-headlining this show. And I was talking about him because when we go on the road, he's always like he always wants to drive because he wants to listen to like Deftones and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I was saying like, it's funny because you think that your friend just listens to the Deftones, and it's like, no, he obviously got molested, you know what I mean, or whatever happened to him. But that's why he likes vampire music. Or, you know what I mean? That's why all his shit is creepy, you know. But his fans, they all started laughing because it's like it's true, you know what I mean. You try to it's almost like something happens to you and you start being like, nobody gets me. So now you literally make yourself an outcast. You start being like a punk rock or an emo kid or whatever the fuck, just to be different. And then you're the one saying that nobody understands me. It's like, well, fucking, you dress regular, motherfucker. Get your shit together. You know what I mean?
I feel like Latinos, like in some sort of way, or I don't know, DNA. I don't know. We can look back centuries back. But I feel like Latinos were made to be comedians. Like, I think that, like, within trauma, within the way that we cope, because coping for Mexicans is capping on each other.
Oh, for
or
sure.
making fun of ourselves. Or you get there and you think, oh, I love what I'm wearing. And you get in with your family and the first thing they point out is what you're wearing. And then you're like, like... and it's just something in us.
Yeah.
That,
I think that's what keeps us in check. You know what I mean? Because I think one of the most important things that society is suffering from right now is that they don't have that. You know what I mean? They don't have that anymore. We corrected it too much where like now nobody's ashamed of anything. Because you used to want to be like you try to be a new person and leave the house and this motherfucker thinks he's whatever. You know what I mean? And now you're just hearing that in your Theo's head and you're like, he's right. I'm not this guy. You know what I mean? And you just go back to the regular, genuine you. But there's so many motherfuckers like now, everyone, like anything you're into, you go online and there's like a support system for it. You know what I mean? For everything. Everyone wants to make everything a thing. And it's like, no, dude, there should be shame. You know what I mean? Like, there should be shame for so many things. Everybody just wants to tell you about their kinks now. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I remember, like, we didn't even talk you didn't talk politics, religion, sex. Now you go on a first date and everyone's like, so what do you think about fucking politics, religion, and sex?
We were just having this conversation today because yesterday, my godmother, my mom's sister, she's, she married, she's an interracial relationship, right? Like years ago, like 30 years ago. And I guess yesterday she went and she was getting her hair done. And the lady, she's like an older lady. She was like, the world's going crazy and la, la, la. You know, that plática that everybody has right now, right? Everything's so crazy, everything's so. And then she said, I never thought that in my lifetime I would come to see so many interracial couples. Mm-hmm. She's like, all the races are mixing now, like white people with black people and Mexicans with like, and my aunt was like, the lady doesn't know her on that level.
Yeah.
And she said that she just like kind of like sat there and was like, oh, pues sí, ¿verdad? Like, because she's like, what am I going to do? Like, one, it shocked her, and then two, it's like, what do I do, fight the lady? Like,
yeah.
And then I was talking to her, I was like, no, it's not about fighting, it's about making her feel like, hey, this is not okay. Like, just because you have these thoughts doesn't mean that you can be walking around and insulting people as a whole. And I told her, I was like, sometimes people need to be told things so that it could stay and register in their brain that, you know what, maybe what I said is not okay. So I think it comes with what you're saying. Like, it's not so much shaming, but it's like making people know, hey, that's not okay, dude.
Yeah, you can't say every thought. Right. Dude. You can't say everything, and even if I think now they also have a thing where it's like, if I feel this, I have to share it, or I have to tell people my thought on X thing, and it's like, dude, you could just shut the fuck up. You could just shut the fuck up right now and just keep moving on with your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is not that important. Like I make a joke about that, like where it's like your sexuality, that's like a gay privilege that only gay guys could be like, out of nowhere, just tell you about their sexuality. Because like, if you're a straight guy, then you know what I mean? You're being like, I'm straight. Everyone's like, oh, he's deeply closeted. Because why else are you bringing it up? The only reason you're trying to convince yourself, right. You know what I mean? It's just like so many fucking things. Like, people should just be like, ashamed about. Like, honestly, it's not even to me about like with gay people about like you be ashamed of about being gay. It's like, you could be proud about being gay or whatever, but what the fuck does that have anything to do with the kids at school, or what the fuck does that have anything to do with, like, why is there a parade? Why is, like, you know what I mean? Like, no one gives a fuck. Just do whatever you're gonna do, keep us out of it, and just fucking keep moving on with your fucking life. You know, people should be shamed a little bit more, and not because they're doing anything wrong. It's just because it's like, dude, go to fucking, don't you have a job? Go to work. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
What is crazy about this story about what Amber's aunt went through is like that has been happening for the past, I don't know, 300 years, lady. Like, you're really late. Like, that races mixing is not something new.
Well, but it's weird because I think segregation was still a thing up until the late 60s,
right,
in some places. So that's like not even that far off. How many generations is it? You know, like people like try to fucking be mad at whoever people that have slightly racist tendencies, and it's like, dude, that you can't blame these people all the way, because these people are usually around like 50, 60 years old or whatever. And then it's like, you gotta imagine who fucking raised that guy? Somebody who was raised by somebody at the turn of the century? Are you fucking kidding me? Some of these people are like, yeah, my fucking dad was born in fucking 1920 or whatever the fuck, you know, like that's the vibe that they're bringing. It's like, you just kind of gotta let people face out. But even then, how do you guys feel about, like, where, you know, instead of saying the N-word, people say like the N-word, or like they have different different words, like, you know, for to say things. And it's like, well, just because we're not saying the word doesn't mean that we're not using it in conversations. You're just like slightly making it less offensive, but you're still talking about it. You're still using it. You're still whatever the fuck, you know? It's not going away.
Yeah, it's the context of it too. It's like you're using whatever verbiage, but like the idea is still there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can change the word, but the idea and your context of what you're saying is still there. So there's no way of changing it.
I feel like with that word and us like saying, oh, like the N word or whatever, I think and maybe this is the woke side of me, but I do feel like why are we even using it still? Yeah. Why is it even being brought, right? And I think when we use it in like saying the N word, it's because, one, they're talking about it in what sense, like you said, like what's the context, because you're not gonna call someone, hey, you N-word, like right, like that's not it's somebody that uses it, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're right, they probably would just say the word,
so
and then most of the people saying the N-word are somebody to like a reference to a thing, right?
So it's like, I guess not in an educational sense, but in a sense of like, you know, still being like having some emotion behind that word that you're still respecting.
Racism is like, it's crazy because even without the words, right? It's like, how do you manage people's like feelings? Or because some people like are just racist, like they feel like they racism, you know, because we'll know people that aren't even being racist, or like they'll say the proper stuff, but it's like, just the way that you're saying it, I can feel. But it's also like never, because sometimes, you know, like right now we would be talking about like racist, and then somebody in their mind will have like a picture of a white guy or whatever for whatever reason. But it's so human to be racist, because like Latinos are some of the most racist people, dude. Like, you know, you have a fucking and it's not even just like race, it's like colorism.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's what I was gonna
like
say.
That you have a white kid, it's like, que bonito, mira también bien güerito, and then the black kid is like, they'll literally be like el negro or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Shit like that. It's like it's hard because everybody does it. It's literally part of it. When you're like, they've done studies, right, with like kids where like they fucking always pick whoever fucking like whatever toy looks like them. It's just like something in you that's just like racist, right? And every person. So I think to try to be like, I'm not racist or whatever the fuck, or I don't see differences in color, or just, you know, try to steer away from it, I think that's also like wrong.
It is, because it's like color blindness. Like you have to see color to be able to understand different people, Right.
Like
You have to.
like making fun of other races. Like people love that shit. Even especially the race that you're making fun of at the time, they love that shit on stage, right? But it's just like the only reason that it's even working is because we all understand and we all agree that that's as true as
Exactly.
possible right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think the difference between being racist or just noticing differences in races is whether or not you're angry about it, right? Like you could just, oh, look at them, they're so different, or you could be like, oh, that's because they're so different, dude. You know what I mean? Because it's like we can't act like shits. You know, we're all the same. It's like it's like a fucking. I don't understand. Like when you're a kid and you play fucking Super Mario. Like when you play Mario Kart or whatever, and you understand everybody else has different attributes. You know what I mean? Everybody's good on a certain level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like human beings. Everybody's got their fucking thing. You know what I mean? We don't mix. I can't teach you the one thing that you don't know that I do know. You know what I mean? But I think like when you're a kid, you're like, you know what I mean? You seem to understand it. But then as you grow older, I think probably now that I'm talking, I'm probably with you know, personal experiences. You know what I mean? You
Oh, yeah.
fucking a black guy cut you off and now you're like, they're all
Yeah.
doing shit like that.
Everything that you're talking about right now are things that I had in conversation with my Nina earlier, and I was talking to her about colorism and you know how in the Latino like community and just us as a race, like there's a lot of rooted colorism within us. Like you said, like I remember my grandma being like, "Oh, you're so pretty because you're so white."
Yeah.
And I used to be like, "Oh, thanks, grandma." Like I didn't understand that my grandma was being like, you know, a colorist, or I don't know what you want to call her, but you know, to me, I was like, "Oh, it's my grandma. Like she loves me, and
You're
she
just
loves
like,
that
nice.
I'm so white." Right? But now I'm like, oh shit, like, but it's something that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And I think that as humans, we fear what we don't understand. So when we don't understand other ethnicities, other races, other communities, we fear that. So we don't take the time to go and say, "Hey, let me learn everything there is about you so that I can know you on a different level." It's like, oh,
Also,
that's
I think
different. It's weird.
I think because you fear it, you also feel like you're not allowed to talk about it, or you're not allowed to ask about it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like about shit like that. But if we don't talk about it, we could never
Exactly.
we can never understand it. You know, like one of the things I talk about in my act also is like where every Latino, we all have like that dirty uncle. You know what I mean? Like everybody has, so much so that like people would just be like, pinche, you know, mañoso, viejillo mañoso. Like we've all heard that. It's like everybody knows it, but nobody's gonna talk about like that people get molested or people get touched by uncle. Like nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody in their family has an uncle that's just like, he's just a little weird. Just stay away from him. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, how are we gonna just let that slide or make it like a cute thing that they do? Is just like, no, dude, let's fucking talk about shit. Shit's uncomfortable to talk about, but you got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll sometimes I'll do, you know, a sexual assault joke, and I always say like nobody got raped because I told that joke, but people will get raped because nobody wants to talk about the fact that it's still a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, is you just got to talk about uncomfortable shit, racism, drug use, all that stuff. I think that's a huge problem with like kids growing up, especially like Latinos, right? You don't ever, as a parent, you never want to tell your kids about shortcomings. You never want to be like, I was addicted to drugs for 2 years, but you just be like, you better not do drugs, and be like, you're not gonna share with them because this happened to me or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? You're just gonna be like, don't do drugs, and they're just like, what the fuck? I'm just supposed to listen just to listen, or don't do this, but. We have to share like the all of the times that we fucked up, or all of the times that we were mean, or like we fucking, you know, you tell kids like don't bully other kids, but it's just what you're supposed to do, not bully. But it's like you just learned that from when you did it when you were a kid, because none of us are perfect. We all were a fucking asshole to a kid, you know what I mean? And you might have it might have taken 20 years, but you're like, wow, that was fucked up that I did that. But you know what I mean? That's how you learn, or you fucking did it and immediately we're like, oh, that's nasty. I can't believe I did that. But we all do the fucking fucked up thing and then learn from it, right? Like you guys said something earlier about like fucking growing or whatever the fuck, but that's part of it, right? Like you just do something fucked up and you learn from mistakes. And shit
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. That's the best thing about stand up.
Yeah.
Because you only learn from the times you bomb.
Exactly.
Right?
But that's where growth is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making a mistake and not doing it again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
It's improving. But there's people that there's no growth.
Or even, dude, even I know that was with me. Like, you know, I'll fucking have like comedians that are like have been in this game like 20 plus years and been like, don't fall into this, don't fall into that. And I'm just like, fuck, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then I did fall into it, and you know what I mean? And I still fucked up. But some friends will let you make the mistake and still be friends with you. And
Right.
still just, you know, be like, fuck you had to learn by yourself. You
Yeah,
know?
I think that's what it is too. You need to find out by yourself, because how else are you gonna know? Yeah, you can take the idea from somebody, right? You can listen to their story, you can listen to what they have to say, but it's not the same as feeling that and experiencing that for yourself.
Yeah, man. Stuff. That's the first thing that I learned with stand up, and it was the first time that I understood that it's just like, man, I even if I failed right now, because everything I ever tried before stand up, it was just like, if I wasn't good at it immediately, I fucking hate it and I never want to see it again. But at stand up, I fucking bombed so hard the first time. The first few times I bombed. I remember crying one time, like fully in my 20s.
Really?
In the bathroom at a fucking
Oh my
open
God.
mic that I fucking, you know what I mean? Just immediately.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, it means
Some guys are walking out, they're like, is that dude crying?
yeah, no. They probably, I'm doing coke in here. You know what I mean? No, I'm just crying in the stall, dude.
You're like silently crying.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy. The amount of times that I've cried about stand up is like crazy, dude. But it's weird because I'm like, I have like crazy feelings for doing stand up, and like I've cried, I've gotten really emotional at like getting stuff, or like sometimes I'll be sitting in the green room with like friends, and it'll be like friends that are like really close friends to me, but just 10 years ago was someone that I watched on TV or something like that.
Wow.
And then like, you know, a lot of the times you're just fucking running. You're not sitting there patting yourself on the back after every achievement or every accomplishment. But then sometimes you're just sitting and you're like, holy shit, I am a stand-up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I remember one time taking mushrooms and walking around at like a club and just being like, dabbing people up or like being like, hey, what's up to the fucking door guy and shit like that. And then just like, you know, you always catch yourself in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah.
I'm really high or I'm really drunk or whatever. But just catching myself in that mirror that time and being like, oh, dude, you did it, dude. And and I had it. I still have so much, you know, so much to do and so much growth to make and stand up. But I mean, it's awesome, dude. Even being like, I'm short on money this time. I didn't make as much money off of stand-up that month. It's even that's like,
Yeah.
wow, what an accomplishment. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane, dude. All of this stuff is crazy to just be doing. Anybody that does anything like musicians, art, like anything with art, it's like it's such a crazy thing to get to do stuff like this. People pay and you fucking get love from
Yeah, dude.
strangers.
It's crazy.
It's so weird.
And even to think of just creating something out of thin air, right? It's just an idea. Like, think about a stand-up. You're just up there. You're talking. Yeah. It's just words. It's words, and you're painting a picture in somebody's mind, and they're following your story, and you're making them laugh.
It's insane. It's insane. I
right.
used to sell weed and shit. I used to sell drugs and stuff, right? And it's like, it's just crazy to be like I would have to do so much work to make money, you know, doing shit like that.
Right.
And it's like, sometimes I'll be on stage and I'm like, this is all profit. That's what it feels like. It's like, besides $20 to get here, this is all profit, dog. And then sometimes I'm on stage too and I'm just like, this cost me an arm and my leg. My soul,
Yeah.
I'm a whole different person now. I'm broken now because it felt like it cost so much, but it's still so dope to fucking be doing stand-up, man. I'm so happy about it. Like every day, just the fact that this is like a thing that's even fucking working out, and I haven't even begun to like headline really. I just barely kind of started like headlining stuff, so I know it's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. That's the. It's crazy because it's already so cool, And I'm still always waiting. They're like, it's about to get better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like a weird position. And
do you feel like it's like that, right? You think like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like I just feel like, you know, I'm gonna go to the next level in my career. Do you get that often?
yeah, but it luckily it's like I said, like I try to be nonchalant about a
Right.
lot of shit, especially in this industry. People will literally be like, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do
Right.
that, you're gonna do that, and it's like, and shit never happens. Or like
Right.
you film something for a thing, you're like, this is gonna be the thing, and it doesn't even get picked up or whatever, right? So like you just learn to like, all right, until I'm there on stage or until I get that check, this shit's not even fucking real. But my girlfriend, she gets stoked, so I get like fucking, it's like I'm broken, but I'm like, oh, this is good because she's so stoked right now, so this is good for my career, you know. And so many times she'll sit there and I get a call and then somebody, yo, what are you doing? Nothing. Oh, here's this. And it's just like, whoa, that just changes everything now. Like just doing like voiceover work or something, you know, like I've gotten an opportunity to do that. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm a fucking high school dropout and I'm over here getting paid to talk into a fucking mic.
Right.
And then I still get to go do a show that's like twice the payday. You know what I mean? So shit like that is cool. I mean, I got to feature for Brian Simpson. And that was
nice.
Yeah, that was like one of those things too, which is just like, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy right now. My buddy calls me. He's like, yo, I can't do it. Can you fucking do it? And then I show up and it's just me and Brian. I do a half hour. He does an hour. It's just like shit like that where it's just like, sick. I just did a half hour in front of this club or whatever the fuck. Or I just did 45 minutes closing this thing out, you know? So luckily stand-up is like no days the same. And every day something is happening. Almost every single day, I swear, almost every day something is happening where I'm just like, how, dude? How did I land this? How did I get this? Or whatever, dude. So you just gotta keep fucking going, bro. It's so great. And that's the most frustrating thing is like, because I still have that feeling like, oh, somebody's going to discover me or somebody's going to give me this opportunity that's going to change everything. But more important, I'm excited every day because it's just like, I'm going to do something about it, right? I'm going to go do something like, since I started booking that club or whatever, we put together, I think something like 12 shows. It's been like,
I've seen it grown because Sergio, he's I met him through the scene. He's a cool guy. I've done one of his shows at that place. It's a really cool place.
It's dope. Yeah.
And to see it like online, I haven't been there in a while, but to see it online, to change the little, you know, details that you change in there to give it that comedy feel. It goes a long way. It looks really cool.
I mean, it's crazy what we've been able to do.
And the shows you're throwing there are freaking amazing too.
Yeah,
Mikey Barajas, the friend of mine, he just did your secret show. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy because when he got that spot, it was like maybe he had 45 seats up there, maybe pool tables and shit like that.
Right.
But it was like it would.
What is it now?
Like 90 seats, almost 100,
Wow.
right? So we're pretty much just doing it like a fucking club. And yeah, like luckily we're, you know, we're able to put on comics too that we think are funny. Like,
Nice.
so like Mikey, you know what I mean? Mikey, he's a newer comic, pretty fresh face, but I like him. He's putting in work. He's doing his own show that's like a hot room that you want to do, you know what I mean? And so we're able to put those people on mixed in with some veteran comics, let everybody work out, like network, and then we try to fucking, you know, make it as like as affordable for the community, no drink minimum, you know, free parking, cheap tickets, just because it's like I'm not trying to get rich off anybody doing this, you know what I mean? And it's a lot more work than the payoff, you know what I mean?
100%.
But the whole thing is like, what the fuck else am I gonna go do? Put this much effort into somebody else's club or put this much effort into somebody else's career?
Exactly.
It's like, fuck this shit, dude. Let's fucking get this shit popping. If I could pay every comic, I'm paying them. You know, like even if it's just a little bit, fucking shooting them some money, getting them some drinks. Like I said, helping them network because, you know, there's also so many of my friends that I think are funny, and the only thing that's holding them back is the fact that they haven't met the right person, you know what I mean? Or they haven't gotten into the right circles or heard about the right thing. So it's like fucking like bring them all in one fucking room and then let them, you know, do stand up, the thing that they love, and then hang out with people that are cool, you know, shoot them some money. That's what really it's all about. And that's really all I need, you know, just do stand up, hang out with my friends, and make a little money at the end of the night, that's perfect for me. I don't need to make $1,000 every show, you know. Just keep it just enough to keep it going and pay the fucking shit, because you got to invest a lot of money. You know, I probably got like 3 or 4 ads running right now. So, you know what I mean? Like social media ads, just fucking doing that shit, dude. And the show that I run by myself, me and my girl, is Los Angeles Secret Comedy. That's our little production. And then obviously there's the private suite. So we have plenty of shit going on.
Are you booking the shows that are there now? Like what, the Blockbuster?
Yes. So the Blockbuster, that's October 10th, comedy show. I call it a comedy rewind. So it's all comics with TV credits and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
For me, it's just like, let's run it back, but in person. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm booking and producing all of the shows there.
That's nice.
If it's like a showcase like that, like the Blockbusters or the Rising Stars that we had, we're putting those obviously under the private suite name. You know, there's a private suite presents whatever the fuck. And then we are also doing shows where we're having people come in and they produce their, so, you know, independent producers, but not really. So instead of having an agent or manager or producer bringing this person, I reach out to that headliner myself and then work out a deal with them so that they could come in and keep the majority at the door, and then, you know, try to help us promote and, you know, get a dope name in there, you know. And I'm trying to give everybody higher percentages than these clubs do, because like I said, I'm not trying to get rich off of them. So if they could come in here and make a little bit, you know, a little bit more money or the same amount of money that they're getting paid at like a real legit club, it's only better for us, you know, because we're trying to build that community of comedy fans and comedians alike, you know. And that just means that if we have to go if we, you know, don't make money that night, but put on a killer show and more people hear about us, and that's cool by us, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's as good as money, right? Because you're creating the atmosphere, the energy, all the local comics and headliners are going to know, okay, when a show goes on at this particular place, it's off the chain. You know, it's a really good room.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the, I'm lucky, dude. Like, I learned from some of the best in the game, like including Richard Villa. I don't know if you're friends with him or familiar with him, but he had this show at the...
He is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
He had this show called Refried Comedy at the Improv, which was like the hottest show. He put a ton of comics, and it was like one of the... Like, I would literally meet comics that are headliners, and they'd be like, oh, you work with Richard? Dude, he was the first person to put me on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
Or whatever the fuck, you know? So he gave so many opportunities to comics, and he's bringing it back, or he did bring it back. He's done a few shows here and there. He was doing that club, The Upstairs in downtown LA. It's a brand new club. It's super sick, dude. Right by like the fashion district. But we went over there, he did it, he did that show, and it's like, it's, you know, essentially what we're doing over here, you know. He's bringing a bunch of comics together, a lot of people doing pop-ins, a lot of, you know, up-and-comers mixed in with veterans, and just putting on dope shows. And as fun as it is for the audience members, it's just as fun for the comics in the green room, you know, like to really, like, it's like he made a post about it, and I think it's like super true, because a lot of comics, as fucked up as they are, they don't really go to therapy, or they don't have that money or time to fucking be going to therapy. So, you know, you go to these comedy clubs, you go in the green room, it might be a comic that you barely know, or it might be a comic that you've been friends with for 10 years, but you aren't seeing each other anymore because you're both doing well.
Right.
So now you go into this green room, and it's kind of like you just let all your guard down, and now you're talking about like, my girl did this, my best friend fucking did that, these problems, that problems, and that's as important as performing for comics is, you know, literally just talking to other comics in the green room and just being legit, like just you know, honest, and because it's more than friends. It's weird. It's like it's more than friends and more than coworkers. Comics, when you're like, you know what I mean? Even if you don't like them really that much, you're just like, but if it's you and that person, you're just like, this person's way cooler than any audience member or whatever the fuck, you know? Comics are just different like that, and it's so much fun to hang out with them, bro. And I think at this time, this is what we have to do now to get to hang out with your friends that are comics. Is like I said, fortunately enough, everyone's doing well. that I consider like, close to me. So now sometimes it's like, let's just book a shitty show just to fucking hang out.
Just to hang out,
and get a budget at the bar, dude.
Right. I know that's what. So I do another podcast called the Puro Podcast, and I do that with a friend of mine. He's also a stand-up, and even last night we did the show last night and did the podcast, and he was like, "Dude, even if nobody listens to this podcast, like I get to hang out with you, dude. Like I get to hang out with you every week, and it's fucking awesome." Yeah. I'm like, "All right, weird, but okay."
That's honestly, I mean, that's what else? What the fuck? What would we be doing, or what else is there to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the fuck? Unless you're gonna, I mean, what? I don't even know what fun shit to do. This is the funnest thing in the world. We literally get to hang out with the most interesting and hilarious people in the city. It's fucking like, and it my girlfriend would be like, "You don't think I'm funny?" I'm like, "I'm sorry that I'm friends with professional comedians, dude." You know what I mean? I'm sorry that my friends are the funniest fucking people in the world, It's fucking wild, man. Podcasting has been like dope too. I've been trying to do like some podcasts, to talk about the club and stuff like that. And like everybody has like their own little studio or their own style. And I can really appreciate it because I tried podcasting a whole bunch of times, dude, and it's just so tough. Especially I was just doing it by myself and fucking I had a podcast room and everything.
Oh, nice.
Just the equipment and all the stuff, learning how to do all that shit.
Yeah, it's a whole other fucking thing.
I could never do it consistently, and that's the most important thing with podcasts is keeping at it. But I would do like 5 episodes and stop for 6 months, and then 7 months later be like, "Hey, what's up? It's your man. What's up? We're
just
back."
like you never left.
Yeah. This shit fucking sucks, dude. I wish I was better at fucking podcasting and stuff like that. But that's how it is with everything. I always feel like that's the only thing I ever fucking did every day, like when I wake up and I'm just like I'm focused on it, is stand up, because there's so many things that I tried. Like I tried being in a band. I had like a punk band. We never played anywhere, but we killed it at the house.
Did you play before starting stand up or
music?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I used to do everything. I tried graffiti, just art, regular painting and stuff like that.
I think that's just a normal Latino kid, dude. I tried to be a musician. I tried to start a band.
What was your band name, dude? That's crazy.
It's literally, dude. We just found out. Seriously,
what's the tagger name though? That's the funniest thing.
Goon,
my boy, come.
Seriously, and when I found out that Goon is what it is now, I'm just like, wow. I never would have thought.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, this new lingo. Yeah, before it used to be you were a goon, you were a tough guy, dude.
Right? Exactly.
Now you're goon, everyone's like, God, you need Jesus, dude.
Right?
I'm
gonna pray for you.
Jesus, dude. That's so funny, dude. I was telling my girlfriend about that too, but she was like, "Oh, you fucking." She called us goons last time. I was like, "Dude, don't say that." She's like, "It's always come with you." I'm like, "It's not me, dude. It's not fucking me." But it is, dude. So many like I was saying, like I'm doing what I do now is like just the shit that I used to get in trouble for and fucking, you know what I mean? I'm like, I always got to make a dick joke or like a joke about cum. It's always funny, dude. It's never not funny. As a straight guy, I think about penises a lot, dude. You know what I mean?
Seriously,
dude,
we do.
Yeah, dude. You give me a piece of paper or like a whiteboard, I'm drawing a dick immediately.
I don't get it because I tell girl all the time. I'm like, men, you guys are like gay. Like,
oh yeah,
guys,
for sure.
Women, we don't sit around and are like, oh, your titties. Oh, let me touch you. Oh, let me go behind you.
Let me scoop you.
Nothing. We're just having conversations, and we might like, oh, I got a new bra, but it's never like, let me tell you, it's because it goes.
We have
somewhere.
to do it.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are like, balls, dick, ball, dick, ball, dick.
I literally.
Oh my God.
I'll literally look at my homies and be like, "Damn, you got a fat ass."
His
and my girl would be like, "Why would you say like that?" I'm like, "You wouldn't get it, dude. It's a guy thing, dude. It's fucking men." Roof.
Literally, I would be right here next to my girlfriend, and Ricky would be standing right in front of me, and he'd be like, "Dude, just let me hit."
Yeah.
Just let me hit, or he'll text me, and I'm just like, dude, in front of Amber. He's like, yeah, she can watch. I'm like, no.
You gotta try to outgay each other. Is the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
What I mean,
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
you really like. I swear, two dudes have banged and been like, just try not to be the one that fucking gives in. Because if you're like, all right, that's enough. You're obviously the gay one. If you're like, that's too much, you're gay. And you had real feelings for this. That's why you're uncomfortable.
That went too far.
So what's too far?
I mean, I don't know, dude.
I mean, other than like actually sleeping with each other, what's too far? Like, what would be like, oh, dude, you're gay. Like,
I think if you like, you can fuck,
Something.
like you could bang your homie. You could smash him out, but if you touch his hand, that's gay.
Yeah, if you hold hands, you can't look in his eyes while you're
that's
doing
gay
it.
as hell,
oh
dude.
my god.
That's where it's gay. If you accidentally touch hands, it's like, dude, stop. Get out of my asshole right now. What are you, gay? Because it's gay to be homophobic. You know, that's the gay thing, to be homophobic. Dude, it's like, that's one of the things, like, sometimes with the homie Ace, is like, we would go on the road. Like, now it doesn't fucking, it's whatever, but we used to go on the road, and you barely know these people that you go on the road with sometimes.
Right.
And it's not in the budget, so you gotta share a bet and shit or whatever. And they always take like a fucking, the cobijas or whatever, or the pillows, and they make like a border in between you. And it's just like, dude, but now I'm cold because that's the whole blanket, dude. And it's like, I'd rather sleep inside of you and be warm than fucking than cold and next to you. You know what I'm saying? This shit is, and that's one of the wild things about comedy too. Is like, like I said, I used to hang around with like a lot of like cholos or whatever the fuck, just people that weren't doing shit, right? So like I wasn't necessarily a bad kid, but I think that was with my mom. It's always like, what's gonna happen with him? And then, you know, I just disappeared for a while, and then next thing you know, she heard like I'm doing stand up, and it was funny because she'd be like, "Oh no, like ¿dónde estás?" And I'm like, "No, this is cool, man. I'm in Washington with this fucking."
What does your parents think about you doing stand up?
My mom, she likes it, dude. She actually, like, the other day she was like, ya no has ponido nada, ningún chiste de mí en el YouTube, you know what I mean? 'Cause I used to post a lot of videos on the shorts on YouTube, and she would be the first person to watch it, dude. Oh, I saw that you posted this. I saw that you posted that. So she's into it, especially
that's cool.
how I was able to work and like meet like people that she has heard of, or comedians that she respected, like Luis de Alba, you know, that guy. It's crazy. I used to watch this stuff when I was a kid, you know, with my mom, or just like, you know, Chupitos, you know, that lady, right? Like I worked with her manager a lot. That guy changed my whole career. You know what I mean? And it's just like stuff like that, or like Vicente Fernandez impersonators. You know what I mean? Like just working with like cool shit that I could take pictures of, and then she can, even if she doesn't understand their act or whatever, could be like, well, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been on like Spanish TV, and it's just embarrassing because she has like a video of it, and I'm like, dude, I don't want her to show anybody, but she's obviously showing everyone, me being barely able to speak and shit, you know?
It's funny.
It's fucking crazy. I tried doing stand up in Spanish like a few times because I want her, you know, to see me, and I'm not super comfortable with it. I'm still working on it, but upcoming in Pico Rivera, we have a couple of Spanish shows.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping to bring her down and just fucking.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know.
Do you when you do Spanish comedy, do you just translate your existing jokes to Spanish, or do you rewrite Spanish jokes?
I've translated them, but then I've also just tried shit that like is just in Spanish. Like I don't even know if it fucking but it's like this. It's like being new at stand up. Is when I first did stand up in English, all the fucking jokes that were in my act were just like, it wasn't even anything that I sat there and wrote. It was just something that I always had bits. Like in school, I used to get in trouble, and then they used to sit me next to another student that I didn't know, thinking like he won't talk to them. But then that happened 3 times this year already. So like by the time I get to like the third or fourth person, I already have like a 10-minute act. You know what I'm saying? From like fucking the other kids that all the shit that worked with those kids. So that's how it was like in Spanish. When I tried doing stand up in Spanish, I would just everything that I ever said to my mom or like my cousins that was funny, then I was trying to do in my act. But a lot of it didn't work because it's more of a you had to be there type of shit, you know?
Right.
And the nuances, the doble sentidos, you know, they're always into like dirty shit. Everything you say could be like a dirty thing. You never know what the fuck. So it's just a lot harder to me in Spanish, but it's something that I want to get more used to, especially I was talking about this being a job. Like I wouldn't mind being able to get twice as many paychecks. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of a work for bilingual comics if you can fucking do it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's tough.
I think comedy in Spanish is hilarious.
They're so funny, dude. They're fucking insane.
I mean, since he's been doing I've always liked comedy. And I used to go to like comedy shows and stuff like that before we weren't together. But when he started doing comedy and I started like at the beginning, I was the girlfriend like, oh, I'm going to be supportive and I'm going to go to everything. And I was going to like every fucking open mic that he went to and things like that. And then after I was like, oh, I don't want to fucking see the same people or, you know, people trying out material and stuff like that. So anyways, but we went to, what was it called? The one where Martin Rizzo hosted, it was like Latino comedy something.
It was like no, it was a Chicano.
Oh, it was at the market, right?
At the Pico Rivera
Sports Arena.
Right. Yeah.
I think I was there, yeah.
So that's the first time I seen Richard
I might have performed on that. Maybe like for just a little bit.
Maybe,
yeah.
I did like a sock check on some guy that got on fucking.
Oh, when
Fools
they
Gone
danced, yeah, they went up, right? They did like a challenge.
No, they were doing challenges. I remember it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's done a couple of things there, but that spot is really cool too.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I seen Richard Villa. I had never and he did his entire set in Spanish.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And I like Gilbert was like.
I was laughing. I was laughing at her, laughing the whole his whole set.
He didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I was like, like I couldn't breathe, and I'm like, there's just something so different about like comedy in Spanish that it's just like refreshing. And I don't know, maybe I'm being biased because I know Spanish, but I just feel like the jokes, the way they deliver them, the like cadence of like I don't know, it's just like
it does
hilarious.
feel like I can't do it like that. And but yeah, when I listen to him do comedy in Spanish, it's just it does hit. It's just like you're just listening to your Theo talk or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like I got to meet Tom Segura one time because Richard was doing a lot of Spanish shows with him. So then I went to go watch Tom Segura, and he did his whole act, like a whole hour in Spanish. And I was like, holy shit. It was crazy because I expected him to be like a whole different guy in Spanish. And he did that thing where he just translated his act. And it was still so good because it was still the same rhythm, the same Tom Segura, but in Spanish. And it just made it that much funnier to me.
Holy crap.
And he said puta a lot, which was really funny because he's like Peruvian. So that for him is like, it's like just being like fucking, you know what I mean? Like puta. And then he would just say whatever the fuck, you know? But man, yeah, doing stand up in Spanish seems like a lot of fun. I'd like to do it, especially like traveling out to do it in Spanish I mean, honestly, it seems a little scary, but it seems like it would be like a fun extra thing to do, you know?
How was your first time like going on the road?
It's cool. It's not as glamorous as you think it would be because obviously you don't fucking know anyone.
Right.
So we watch a lot of matinee movies, honestly, with with multiple headliners. We just watched one with Brian Simpson, actually, you know? Like, so with a lot of headliners, they want to show up to the club like fucking 3 or 4 hours early. So you go, if you can, you drop your shit off and you just go like around like a couple miles around. You go watch a movie. You spend a lot of time in your hotel room. It's just kind of like, waiting around. You're just traveling, especially when you're doing like one-nighters. You're just traveling. You're all day, and then you get there maybe like 3 hours before the show. You fucking hang out a little bit, and you just do the show, and then just go to your hotel room. It's not like glamorous at all because, I mean, I'm not single. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure there was times when I was on the road, and I'd be like in Vegas, and you'd be out there just being a fucking dog. You know what I mean? Like, or like being on drugs or whatever the fuck. But now I'm just like, dude, I'm in a relationship. I'm sober. A lot of the dudes that I go on the road with, they're married or in a similar position. So nobody wows out. Like the craziest time that we have now is like we'll go on the road and then you'll pick up like fucking drinks or like pizza, and then you come back to the hotel room and just get fucking drunk as shit because you're just gonna fall asleep anyways. You know what I mean? So, but that I thought it was gonna be a lot like more like a fucking movie, like it's gonna be wild and we're fucking crazy. But instead, it's just comedians are crazy in a different way. Nobody loves, you know what I mean? You're just in your head all fucking day. It's not the cool type of crazy. It's the type of crazy where you just gotta fucking talk someone down from a bridge every fucking time. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking wild. And then, dude, it's so crazy. Like I've had fucking times where I'm like super depressed and I'll call one of my buddies, you know what I mean? And then just being like, dude, am I fucking ruining my life? And they're comics, so they're never, it's just like, yes, dude. Just like, dude, and be like, seriously, dude, I'm about to fucking end it all right now. And it's like, as well you should. You know what I mean? No empathy because they're going through the same thing. It's like, dude, you don't think I'm depressed? I've been depressed for the last fucking 15 years, dude. Just do your fucking act, sir.
Right?
Just do your fucking act.
Just be funny, okay?
Yeah, no one gives a fuck, dude. Do your fucking... It's crazy because that's how it does feel, because sometimes you'll be like, being a comic is so tough. And then, you know, it's like a veteran comic. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I've been doing this 20 years. Dude, you know what I mean? You have one fucking job and you perform for half an hour a day. So just shut the fuck up and go to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing about it too, is like people think like, you know, you work fucking only a half hour or an hour that day, but it's like you're just never off the clock. You're just fucking on the clock all the time. So when you get to have gigs that aren't about stand-up, it feels like a fucking break and it's just fun and you're just doing like a side mission. I did this video for Pero Like, which is like the Latino sister company to BuzzFeed.
Okay.
Where they showcase like Latino artists and stuff. Right. And I always used to be really embarrassed of it. Before I did stand-up, I used to be a panadero for like 5 years, right? So now I have like 10 years of baking experience or whatever. So I used to be a baker, and that's what that video was. It's just one of those panaderos try another panaderos.
Did you do that recently?
Yeah.
Oh, we got an email too for Horchateria for upstairs.
Oh, nice.
To be on the video, but we couldn't make it that day.
Nice.
For the same thing for the panaderia. That's cool.
Sick. Yeah, dude, we did one, and I mean, it was really cool, man, but I was having like that moment where it was just like, man, they trying to change my life around me. Like, I don't have a mixture. I don't have machinery or like anything to fuck. I literally made the pan dulce like by hand. I just mixed it by hand, but it was funny because I weighed it out with the scale that I used to sell weed with. So I did it the same way. I just put that shit on the counter. I got a red Solo cup. I hit it on grams. And I was just like, let me just do a half ounce of fucking harina at a time, you know? This shit was fucking crazy, dude. You know? And then I did all that work or whatever, and then we shot, and then was excited for it to come out and stuff like that. And then just so people could be like, I'm glad he lost, or whatever the fuck, just like mean comments immediately, right? Because I was being all like arrogant and just trying to be funny or whatever the fuck, you know? So I'm just being like, they suck, I'm the best type shit.
Oh, so you were the villain in the...
Everybody has to have one, and I guess,
to.
Yeah, somebody didn't show up, and they were like, can you be a little more, can we do that one again? And you could be like, I'm gonna win. Because I was literally... I was like, honestly, I was like, I felt like they set me up, dude, because the fucking comments, I fucking hate that guy. I'm glad he lost, or whatever the fuck. Meanwhile, like, they would be like, what do you think about everyone's bet? And I'm like, honestly, it's a lot of work. People put their love into it. I hope whoever wins, and I'm just happy I'm here. Like, run it back. I'm like, these people suck. I'm the best. Put my balls on their mouth. You know, you just gotta go ham, dude.
And you're all at home crying, reading the comments.
Yeah. And then I'm like, now I have to, and it was crazy too, because they don't tell you who the other person is, so you're just, you know what I mean, fucking, you just film like your fucking, you just film your shit, and then you
so you're waiting until that thing gets published on wherever, YouTube or something,
and then they put it up, and I'm like, I respect that guy, dude. I didn't know.
Oh, man.
Also through production, nothing. You don't come.
Really?
Yeah, you're literally just waiting in the green room and like your own thing. There's like a fucking cappuccino machine. You're just fucking chilling. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they're chilling somewhere else, and then they come get you, and you've been there 4 hours, and they're like, oh, it's time. Yeah. And then you're there for 30 minutes and you fucking, and they're like, all right, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the worst part, dude. And honestly, when I was sitting there, dude, I was literally like minutes away from relapsing. I swear to God.
You were like, no.
I was literally sitting there like being like, this is why I do drugs. Shit like this, dude. I'm supposed to show up for filming for 30 minutes. I'm sitting here for fucking 4 hours and I'm supposed to be on when the camera, like, that's what's going on in my head. You know what I mean? But it made me think. It was like, I think that's what was happening at the beginning when I started doing drugs heavily. It's like I would do these shows, or like I'm waiting so long to do open mics, and then I'm just like, dude, I can literally go buy a sack right now, finish it, and then still wait 10 minutes to get up. You know what I mean? It's like fucking so dumb, dude. Or like being on the road and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was what I was thinking. I was like, damn, that's how it mostly started. Just the boredom of sitting and waiting around, because all day sometimes it feels like that. You're like, I have a show, and you wake up and you're excited for your show, and you're like, that shit's not till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you're just waiting there, just thinking about it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. And I remember being on the road and not even knowing, or like thinking that my friends that I'm on the road with, that the comics don't know that I'm addicted to cocaine. You know what I mean? I remember being like, the other day I was like, dude, remember when you told me not to take cocaine that time? I did. And they're like, yeah, you were sweaty the whole time. Like, evidently I was always sweaty and stuff like that. But it's funny because I have this funny story. Is one time we were doing this weekend in Vegas. So it was like 2 days of show. So naturally I took like 10 days worth of cocaine with me.
Jesus
Right. So I'm just like, it's
Christ.
going to be a great weekend. And so my buddy had told me not to take anything with me. So it was a 4-hour drive. And so for 4 hours, I'm heavily addicted at this point, and I can't do cocaine because he doesn't know that I have it. So I'm just sitting there like, we can't get there quicker. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And then as soon as we get there, I'm like, I got to use the bathroom. And then we fucking go in there, dude, and I fucking do a bunch of bumps. And when I'm leaving the bathroom, like a average cocaine addict, I'm just like, oh, I gotta make sure it's still on me. Right. So I just used it, like, but then I check and it was gone. Like, I dropped it, and there was a bunch of people in the bathroom. So I go back in the bathroom, and like it's a bunch of guys like using the bathroom. So I'm trying to like look on the floor and see if I find it. And I'm not looking, but it's too many people. So I'm like, I gotta kick back. So I'm like, now I'm leaning up against the wall, just chilling in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like now a bunch of guys leave. So I'm looking, and now another wave of guys come in. I kick back a little bit more, and now I'm like trying to make eye contact to see if anybody has like I found cocaine eyes. You know what I mean? So now I'm just like kicking back in the wall in this bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
Guys are walking up. I'm like, huh? Just making, no, all right. And then I'm like, caught myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I look like I'm a gay guy just strolling for cock right now. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
Before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask,
Mhm.
like, obvious. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking it on a psychological perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you say like you were using drugs, while you were on the road, or even just doing comedy. Like, I mean, it sounds like drugs were like that. Like, it almost soothed you, right? Like into like maybe being more calm or giving you the energy, whatever it was, right? The stimulant that it gave you to do comedy. And now that you said that you're sober, like, how different is it doing comedy now, sober versus like using?
Well, I'm in the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, before it was just, it literally, and I was like, I got spoiled, right? Because I was just fucking funny, and people would put shows on. They'd literally just be like, hey, would you like to do this fucking club? We're going on this day or whatever. We'll get you I'm sure. You know what I mean? Fucking sure, dude. And so it's just like, I didn't really have to go look for shows. So people were just coming at me with shows all the time, really good shows. So now you're fucking doing like, you're doing like a packed out room, and you're fucking on drugs. So you're just like not giving up. You're just like in party mode now. You know what I mean? But now I'm just like, I'm going to the show. I'm making sure I meet everyone at the club. I say hi to the people. I shake the hands I need to shake. I literally, because I used to meet new comics all the time. Comics that could have helped me in my career. But I was just so fucking strung out that I could I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Just in my head, be like, I'm fucking way funnier than this guy. But now, I'm just, like I said, I'm in the game. I try to advance my career every time I go out. Because like I really I grew up poor, so I didn't have like a stable home, and I didn't have like a good relationship at the house and stuff like that. And now that it's my spot, me and my girl, and I like being home. You know what I mean? Like I like being with my pets and just watching TV or like smoking a blunt with my girl. I love that. So when I leave the house, I'm fucking going to go do a spot, and I need to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? I need to make sure that I could come back home and be like, oh, I got this opportunity, and not because if I fucking leave home to go do stand up every time, I'm just coming home fucked up. My girlfriend's gonna be like, what the fuck are you even doing? You know what I mean? Because she supports me a lot. She makes like real money. She has like a real job. You know what I mean? With like people depend on her and shit. You know what I mean? So it's just like all of that, all the accumulating is just like it really puts me in a position where I can't just lose a day. You know what I mean? I can't just go out and have because I had one good day, go out party, and now I need to recover for 2 days. You know what I mean? Even with weed now, it's starting to like affect where like before I came here, I was so stoned, dude. I like woke up and came here, because like I got some wax and I fucking put it on a blunt. And I smoked a fat blunt with wax and weed, thinking I'll be good. You know what I mean? But then there's days now where I'm just like, oh, I can't even smoke right now, or I can't smoke as much as I want because I have too much shit to do. And there's not really like, I sometimes play like Call of Duty or whatever the fuck. And like, really, I don't do anything now because I feel guilty. I fucked up so much time, like being on drugs and fucking up, and like honestly I wasn't even that good a friend to some people that I really considered close to me. So now that I'm sober and stuff like that, I try to be conscious of all that stuff because it like just having fun, you can get caught up in just having fun, especially in this industry where it's all about having fun. It's all about having a good time and making people laugh and all that time and all that shit. So that whole time you feel like you need to like be on and shit like that, and drugs would help. But now I don't need to be on. Like I'm going on stage right now, dude. I could just fucking wait to say some funny shit. You know what I'm saying? So the green room, I use it more just to my advantage. Like network, get to know the comics that are are in the green room that I haven't met before. Try to learn some new information. Who books what? Where to go? How do I do this? And it helps a lot. I've got a lot of good what would I say, like good leads with like shows or agents or manager teams, or just doing shit that I wouldn't have even been paying attention to if I was sober. So if I wasn't sober. So obviously that's the biggest difference, is that I'm present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I rambled on a lot.
No.
No, that answered the question. And plus too, most like new comics don't they didn't like, I didn't find that out until like just like recently, like, oh, like it's okay, yeah, it's your stage presence, it's your joke writing, but a lot of it is just like networking and talking to the right people and hanging out with the right people and just getting to know like the scene and the community. Like that's a huge part of it, especially now.
Biggest part of it, yeah. And what was I gonna say is like getting to know the scene, and like you said, like getting to meet the right people, that helps a lot. And on the same end, you gotta worry about who you hang out with or who you're seen with, because sometimes there's people that are borderline fucking not accepted at clubs or just they have a bad reputation, and now they might have never done anything to you, or they might always be a good person to you, but now you're seen hanging out with this person, or even like featuring for this person, or opening for this person that has a bad reputation, and then that also starts falling on you. You know what I mean? So as much as you don't want to like be that person that like, oh, I can't be friends with you because you keep fucking up, or I can't be seen with you because you do this shit, because like you want to be there for everyone or whatever, or be friendly with everyone, but there's some times where some people that is like, they might be good people, but you have to understand how it affects your image. And if this is something that you want in a career for the long term, motherfuckers are not gonna forget. You know what I mean? They're not gonna, because that's how that person's fucked, right? They might be a headliner that did that did something to somebody fucking 10 years ago, and people are still looking at him crazy or sideways because he did some shit, and now people are looking at you weird because you worked with somebody like that. So I've had opportunities where like I've had opportunities to open or feature for certain comics, but then I know it's gonna look weird on me, or it's gonna, just complicate shit for me. So you just gotta fucking give and take. You know what I mean? It's a weird game like that, dude. Everyone's watching all of the time. Everybody's fucking posting a picture of you, whether you know it or not. If it's anything like when I started like stand up, there is Google Documents with people that are blacklisted. There is fucking people that are put you in group chats that talk shit about you, even though you've never even met them. It's just happening. You're under a microscope every time if you're in this industry.
Right.
So you just gotta watch for all of that. I wish I knew all of that when I was coming up.
Dude.
I was literally going live drunk and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wish I fucking knew, dude. But everyone's watching all of the time. Just be a good person and be funny. That's the most important thing. And just, meet everyone, shake hands, and fucking write the number down. Write the number down, hit them up periodically, not just when you need something. Don't just be like, I heard you booked it, oh, that's a nice movie that you watched, or how was that movie, or oh, I'm so glad, happy birthday, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That goes so, far.
It's basic sales person 101, right?
Business.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't do business with anybody that you don't feel like a connection with.
Right.
So that's how it is in this industry. A lot of the times, if you're going to go on the road with somebody that's headlining, they're going to bring you because you're a good hang and you're not fucking up their whole show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doesn't matter how funny you are. I'll give opportunities to motherfuckers if I'm just like, dude, you're a vibe. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude. Ernesto, dude, thanks for coming out and doing the
course.
podcast, man. I gotta have you again. So
I would love to come back.
Hell yeah, dude. Go ahead and tell us where we can find you and what you have coming up, man.
Oh, Ernesto Ledezma, ErnestoLedezma.comedy on Instagram, ErnestoLedezma.comedian on TikTok. You can go to www.secretcomedyshows.com for all those LA secret comedy shows, and the private suite on Instagram to find out all about these upcoming shows at this independent comedy club in Pico Rivera, Southeast LA, baby. The new home for stand-up comedy. We got a bunch of shows coming up from now, September, all the way up to the end of the year in December with Los Angeles Secret Comedy, September 27th. The Blockbusters Comedy Rewind, October 10th. Theo Vix and Family, October 11th. And we have a bunch of shows. We're going to be closing it out the year in December with Willie Mack from BT and Don't Tell and all that stuff. It's going to be coming through. So we got everything from, newcomers, fresh faces, veteran comics, comedians with TV credits, viral sensations, whatever the fuck you're into. Go to the private suite on Instagram, find a show, get your tickets, and come support. This is the only way this works.
Go see a live comedy show. God. People, please.
I am not a crook.
I am not a crook. Dude,
Didn't kill him.
this was fun, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
No,
You guys
dude,
are awesome. I ramble a lot. But
No, dude, any time, man. If you need anything, you hit me up. Whatever, man.
of course.
This was fun. Follow the Mind Buzz at the Mind Buzz on Instagram and Mind Buzz Podcast Network on YouTube if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple iTunes. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay? It's fun. Oh, I'm back on TikTok. Amber, we're back on TikTok.
Nice.
I'm fighting people in the comments.
I was gonna say go fight with us in the comments.
Go for it. It's happening. See ya.
The Mind Buzz. Podcast.
For shit.
Nice. Thanks, guys. I get off topic a lot.